Today I have the pleasure of interviewing Officer Walker. Officer Walker, tell the people about yourself.
Mr. Brooks, I appreciate you having me on your podcast, man. I'm currently a deputy at the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. I'm 23 years old. Um, I served a little bit of time in the military, in the Marine Corps. I was a cannoneer crewman in the Marine Corps. I am biracial, black, white, and Puerto Rican. Been in law enforcement now, going on about 3 years. Started off in jail, kind of just worked my way up to where I'm at now.
Okay, you said what was your job in the military?
I was a candidate crewman, so pretty much I did artillery, um, and my job on the gun, which is you know it's slang, so yeah, just look it up if you don't know.
Yeah.
My job on the gun is pretty much just loading the gun and prepping the rounds and stuff like that.
Now, being in the Marines, how was boot camp?
Uh, Boot camp was an interesting experience. For me, boot camp was educational. It taught me a lot about discipline, a lot about Marine Corps history, values, and just pretty much just instilled in me the discipline that I needed to be the man that I am today. I could definitely say the Marine Corps definitely played a role in making me me. So.
So, towards your tour in the Marines and getting out and stepping into the law enforcement world, what kind of made you make the decision to come into law enforcement?
Ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted to be a police officer. My three main goals in life was to be a Marine, to be a police officer, and to be president. I've already achieved two of those aspirations, and as the saying goes, the sky's the limit. And I'm still striving to achieve my third and final aspiration, which is becoming president of this great country.
Do you feel like your military background helps you out a lot in being a police officer?
It does. My survival instincts kick in. Everything the Marine Corps taught me, along with the police academy, everything kicks in when dealing with the public and when surviving and just trying to, make sure that my brothers and my sisters come home every day. I can't say the military is a what is the foundation for my training and for who I am as an individual and for who I am as a deputy.
Now, also, Rocker, tell the people about like what area you patrol and what division you work for.
So I'm in the Field Operations Division on Road Patrol. I patrol Zone One, which is commonly known as the Bottom. That's the east boundary, Lane and Walker Boulevard, the avenues, the hospitals, Broad Street. That area. It's challenging at times, but I enjoy it. I do love the people I work with, and I do love the people that I work, for in terms of the community. And it feels good sometimes to go out in the community and make contact with these people and try to help them in the best way that I can. Some people you can help, some people you can't, and that just comes with the nature of the job.
Now, I know last year during the Black Lives movement, during the protest that we had down here on downtown,
Mm.
you was at Ground Zero
Yeah.
with the protesters, and I know it was a photo surfacing on the web with you and a couple officers laying down. Tell me a little bit about that moment and why y'all decided to lay down with the protesters and stuff.
Um, for me, at the end of the day, I do wear a badge, and I am a certified law enforcement officer. But I'm also a black man. When I take that badge off, when I take that uniform off, I'm a black man. And the incident and what happened with George Floyd not only shook the community, the black community, but it also shook, the law enforcement community, and it not only directly affected the black community, it also directly affected law enforcement. And for me, being an African American in law enforcement, in that moment, seeing the protest and being a part of that, I had chills. And I also felt as though I was in a position where, you know, I'm stuck in the middle. I'm a black man, but I'm also a law enforcement officer. So I had to make a decision in that moment. Like, what am I going to do about this situation, and what am I going to do to make an impact on this situation? And in that moment, I seen everyone lay down, and I looked around, and I'm like, you know what? When I take this off, I'm a black man, and I got to join my people. I love my people. I love my culture. I got to get down with my people, and so I decided to lay on the ground. Granted, we got a lot of backlash from deputies about lying on the ground and safety concerns, and the positions we put ourselves in, and all that's understandable, and all that I can agree with wholeheartedly, 100%. But at the same time, it's not about, at that moment, it wasn't about officer safety for me. It wasn't for myself. Now I looked out for my brothers and my sisters that joined me on the ground, of course, but for myself in that moment, this was way bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? We had officers out here doing stuff. They killed a man in the middle of broad daylight, in the middle of the street, around a whole bunch of people. And they didn't care about officer safety. They wasn't concerned about officer safety. So when these protesters come out and they say, Black Lives Matter, and I can't breathe, and they're protesting for the livelihood of the black community, I felt as though I had to be a part of that, because, like I said, when I take this badge off, I'm a black man, and that means more to me than anything in this world. Is the fact that I am a black man, and the things in law enforcement that's going on against the black community, I do not tolerate. Absolutely not at all.
So moving from that, like, into what inspires you and what motivation can you pass on to somebody else who's maybe looking at maybe joining the military or coming into the law enforcement world?
In terms of the military, if that's what you want to do it. Make sure you're doing it for the right reasons, and actually, that really applies to both career fields, both aspects. You have to be doing it for the right reasons. You just can't be getting out here, oh, I get a gun and a badge, and I get to tell folks what to do or drive fast or whatever. That can't be your thought process. Your thought process can't revolve around what I can do for myself. Your thought process is, all right, what can I do for the community? What can I do for these people? Same thing with the military. That has to be your same thought process. What can I do for my country? It's not about, oh, I get free education, or I get free medical, or I get this, or I get that. It's not about seeking for yourself or just for yourself. It's about seeking for the people around you and your community and your country. Of course, you have to look at, what your position is in that particular career field and what you get out of it. But at the same token, that can't be your sole passion for getting into it. You have to have passion, the passion to go out here and defend your community and defend your country.
Officer Walker, I want to thank you, man, for allowing me to have this moment with you, man.
Absolutely, I appreciate it, brother.